Hello, this Ironhead 41. Boy, it rained like dickens yesterday. Got the garden tilled up. Ain't got nothing to do for a couple days. I wish I had seeds in the ground. Good gosh. I'm going to build me a little combat knife. Just something to carry around. I mean, it won't be no everyday carry. What I got an 1.5 inches by 3/16 carbon steel plate. My blade probably going to be around 22 inches long. I don't really know the length exactly. When I put my hand, when I pick it up right here, I want it to balance. The weight should be right. So that could vary a couple inches. It might be 18, 21, don't really know. I'm going to use a piece of 1-inch tubing. I'm going to have to cut this blade down because it's 1.5 inches. I got to cut 3/16 off each side. Then I'm going to slide this tubing on it, and then I'm going to weld it on the inside. And then I'm going to let this plate come on out because I want to put a little 2-inch spike on the back of it. And I'm going to put a hand guard using this plate right here, which is it's about 20 gauge carbon steel. I ain't sure whether I want it to come around or I may just do it like that. It just depends. Just see how it works out. Alright, I broke the point off my 119C buck knife. Bunch of junk. Alright, I ain't going to use the torch, but I am going to use the grinder cutting wheel to cut everything. I'm going to cut this out first and cut my tubing here 7 inches long. Got it marked somewhere. Right there. I'm going to slide it on, make sure it's a nice tight fit. I'm going to use tubing, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when I grip that thing, I really want my thumb to tell me where the blade is. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, if it's dark, I don't want to guess which way I got the blade turned. I want to be able to put my thumb. This is going to be my guard. If I cut it off and just turn it, because I'm going to have to cut a slot right here because I'm going to slide it on here first. Well, I'm going to temper this half first. I'm going to heat it up with a torch and then pour motor oil on it. And I'm going to do it about 4 times. I want to get all the minerals and stuff out of this old plate. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it long because that'll be my hand guard loop. And then come around, then that'll be another spike pointing up in the back. But I'm afraid that might hit your wrist or something, so I may just do away with that. Like I also, have an option. I may just cut it completely off and just take this part off. It just depends on how bulky this would be strapped to your side. You know what I mean? Oh, but the reason the tube is this. Let me get a PBR out of here. This is the way I like to do my beer cans. See, whenever I open a beer can, I always put a dent right there at the hole. I always have. That way, if I'm in the dark, I know where the hole is. I don't care. I can never turn the can up this way to my mouth. I always know where the hole is. And that's why I'm going to use a piece of tubing. So when I put my thumb, because I'm going to wrap this with some tape or something and soften it up. But I do want to leave a dent right here. I may hit that with a hammer and heat it up and hit it with a hammer and put a dent where my thumb's going to go. I probably will do that. That'd be a good idea. And then I always know which way the blade's turned in my hand. You know what I mean? Let's get busy. Alright, now what I did was I got this cut out and fit for my handle. And you can see I took a sledgehammer and just made me a nice thumb dent. That's where I want the thumb. But I had to grind my bar here down a little extra because of that dent. I probably should have put it on here first and then just grinded me a dent in it, but I didn't want to. Now that works perfect though. That is a nice, very nice tight fit for a double-edged sword hammer. Alright, I'm going to temper this thing. I'm going to take my torch and I'm going to heat it. I'm going to go ahead and just do half of it, just the back handle half. That way I can go ahead and build the handle, then I'll temper the rest a little later. Boy, I got it hot. Alright, now I'm going to take some burnt motor oil and just pour right on it. Woo! Boy, that makes a lot of smoke. And don't worry, all you tree huggers, whatever oil I get on the ground, I'll dig it up. I'm going to do that 4 times. Go ahead and flip it over. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's going to get all the minerals out of it, and it's going to harden that steel hard. That way it don't break. But now it's not for trees or nothing. You know, it's for if you get in a bear fight, you got to fight a bear,
Hey, Pop.
flesh and bone. Ain't it right, son?
Yeah.
All right, now let's do it 3 more times. Yeah, that's a cucumber growing. Oh, yeah. All right, for part 2, I know I might get this in part 1. I don't know. This will be my last. Woo!
Why's that burn off?
Woo!
Why's that burn off?
There you go. And my 4th time tempering. Boy, looking good, ain't it? I'm going to cut this plate off. I don't like it. I'm going to cut it off and put a heavier plate. I'm actually going to use a piece of 3/16 flat bar. I'm going to cut this off. I don't like it. Oh, yeah, boy, that looks good. Then we'll grind us an edge on it. And then we're going to sandblast it, polish it, and then we're going to sharpen it.
Papa.
All right. Changed it up. Cut that old thin plate off and put a heavier plate. It's 3/16 by 1.5 inches. Put a plate on the front. I think I'll turn one of them forward and put a spike, and then turn one of them backwards, the bottom one, and maybe just round it off for finger protection. This here, I put a hole in it to tie a string to it. It's the underside because if you swing upward, this would hit me in the wrist. And there's the spike. I'm out of balance about 3.5 inches. So I'm going to go and cut 1.75 inches off this end and see if that'll balance that. First, I'm just going to cut 1.5 inches actually. Because I still have not ground this thing. Well, you know what? I need to put an edge on it first. Let's go ahead and grind an edge. Then we can balance. Alright, well that's what I got so far. That's what it ended up looking like. Well, I really like the way that is turned. I'm going to grind that to a point. I'm not going to sharpen the edge. I don't want a knife out of it. I just want to grind it to a point. So far that thing is pretty dang good. Feels good. I still got put it on the bench grinder, and see, I'm still out of balance about, I don't know, about 1 inch and a little bit. But once I put it on the bench grinder and take a little bit of weight off, it should be all right. But I do feel that this right here is a little too long. Oh shoot! When I yield it, so there's my thumb mash print. If I strike down, it's hitting my wrist bone right there, so I'm going to grind that part down a little bit more. There's my spike on the back. I'm not going to grind a blade into it, just a point. And then that right there will be, I can tie a string to it, put it around my wrist. If it gets knocked out of my hands, that I can re-yield it. Hey, that ain't bad at all, is it? Oh, that is sweet. Oh, that is bad. Well, that's it. Part 2. Tomorrow. I'm going to take it to the sandblaster. I don't have a sandblaster. I got a buddy that does, and I'm going to sandblast it, and then I'm going to polish it, and then sharpen it. Well, that's it.